Hello everybody and welcome to this. What is this, you may ask? Well, let me tell you, if you just shut up for 1 second. This is part 3 of the summer 2016 anime preview with myself and my very good friends Ebbie and Pat. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
This is part 3, as I said. You can find part 1 over on Ebbie's channel and part 2 over on Pat's channel respectively. I'll put links in the description. Basically, we've just been talking about anime that's airing in the coming season, that's coming in the next few weeks, and just talking about things that we're generally interested in and or excited about. And I'm going to jump straight in, because on the top of this list is something that I am very, very excited about.
So we're going to peak with the excitement, and then it's all downhill.
Yeah, it's going to be like, oh, and then, but who cares? Let's start on a high note. So, what I have been waiting for ever since I became interested in this particular series is an adaptation that adapts more than what has been adapted so many times in the past, and that is Berserk! Berserk! So yeah, Berserk is getting a new anime being produced by Liden Films, who you may know is responsible for Arslan Senki and Terraformars, the good Terraformars. Or at least good presentation-wise, as some people would argue.
The only decent thing about Terraformars.
Hey man, the manga's amazing.
Well, I'm talking shit anime.
Well, so yeah, the most exciting thing about this upcoming series is the fact that it's an adaptation that goes beyond what has been previously adapted. Because everything up until this point, in terms of anime, we've had 3 films. And we've had a series, another dribs and drabs here and there. We've had games that have explored different arcs and stuff like that, but this is the first anime that's going beyond that and into more of the post-Golden Age storylines of Berserk. So we're going to get some proper Black Swordsman stuff, who, like, people who have seen the series, the only real introduction they got to that was the very first episode, which is a very odd thing in that series, because it really doesn't have a place. Like, that first episode tells you, or leads you into the Golden Age arc, and then it never loops back to it, to explain, obviously you can see how he sort of got there, but there was really no reason for it to be there. As cool as it was.
He was just there to say, look, it's Berserk, this is Berserk, alright, we'll go to Golden Age.
Yeah, pretty much. So pretty much just before we started recording this, in a few days before it came out, they showed one of the key visuals, which basically confirmed what I was hoping for. It seems as though they're either going to start with a condensed version or skip over the Black Swordsman arc and go straight into the Conviction arc, which was probably one of the first, or no, it was the first kind of long form arc of Berserk post Golden Age. Which is basically, it introduces a lot of the principal cast post-Eclipse, so you get characters like Isidro, Farnese, Serpico. You don't get Shirke yet, it shouldn't turn up until a bit later on, but you finally get to meet Puck properly.
Yeah,
and
Naked Fairy.
It's a conflict between primarily Guts and basically religious fanatics, led by this bloke called Mozgus, who is crazy. And it's a really, really good arc, and I think one of the reasons why Golden Age is so revered and why it's been adapted twice before in the past is because that is still, I would say, the highest point in the series. There was one moment in the arc after this which came close, but the climax of the Golden Age arc is still probably one of the greatest moments in anime and manga storytelling to date. But yeah, the Conviction arc is a good arc to kind of go, tell you, this is Berserk. It's dark and gritty. Here's more dark and gritty. Lots of fighting, lots of violence, but you get new characters, and it kind of expands the world, which so far has only been shown to people who haven't read the manga in a very blinkered format. You get, you get the first episode of the Berserk series, and you get the final few minutes of the Berserk films. So, yeah, I am so excited. I cannot. This is what I've been wanting for so long. Like, when they first announced the movies, the original idea behind the movies was they were going to do the Golden Age arc, and then they were going to carry on and basically try and adapt the whole Berserk manga as films. That was what they originally set out to do. If that just carries on in anime form, I'm still totally fine with that. I want this to be a long-running thing, and I want it to catch up with the manga. That would be insanely good.
Alright, elephant in the
Be your
room.
ideal then.
Yeah.
Though, what do you think of the animation?
The animation is a point of contention, isn't it?
Yes.
But I genuinely don't mind or care. It's an enhancement on what the films are. Because the biggest criticism of the films, other than the fact that it cuts out so much, is the animation style, because it relies a lot on CG. And it seems like, from what I can gather from the original PV, it's almost like Liden Films are trying to kind of do almost like a blend of the two. There's one shot in particular where Guts is like, he's got his sword and he's like spinning around and getting ready to do an attack, and his body, up until the top of his cape, is all in CG, but his head and like his neck has been like drawn.
Cool.
So it's like this fusion style where they're trying to almost like get the best of both. And I don't know, I don't, it doesn't bother me that much. I mean, the monsters look badass. Like the skeleton things and those that they were all like running around, they look cool. And I think the thing is, my argument has always been that you could never, like, the original series was animated in a certain way, and that way worked for a series that was of its time. But to get the level of quality that people are asking for, or people would expect from Berserk, it's unrealistic to expect it to be animated traditionally. So I think it's just, at this point, you just need to kind of come to a compromise and say, you know what, it's either CG or nothing. I would rather take CG.
I have a question.
Go for it.
As someone who's never really watched Berserk, how should I go about doing so?
Well, my first experience with Berserk was watching the films.
Right.
I mean, obviously, a lot of people would say just read the manga, but I understand that
the manga's fucking expensive.
The manga's expensive. It's very long. So, and you obviously don't have a lot of time. I would suggest, if you wanted to just watch anime and not bother with the manga to get into this, I would suggest watching both the films and the series.
The original series from
simply because
it holds up, if that helps.
Yeah, it's still very, very good to this day. But the film cuts out a lot of stuff that the series doesn't.
Okay.
But the series leaves out some key things that don't make sense. Like, the fact that they've removed certain characters and events mean that the ending doesn't make sense.
Right, okay.
So, you kind of, to get the full experience, I would say do both. And it's completely up to you which order. To be perfectly honest, I haven't watched the full series. I watched the films and then went straight into the manga. So I own the series, but I've not really felt the need to watch all of it just yet. I started, but I will go back and do so at some point. I'm kind of itching to read the manga again, so I might go back and watch the series first.
But that's where the Hi Forces song lives.
Yeah, but you got the soundtrack for that.
Well, I guess so. But still, Hi Forces.
And I use the intro, the little monologue that Void does at the start of every episode. I use that in my review of the Wonderful Hobby Selection Guts. So I know it. I enjoy it. It's good. But yeah, I am impossibly hyped for this. Just it's actually going to be something that I watch week on week and watch all the way through. That never happens. But
I hope it's as good as you want it to be.
I'm sure it will be. Like, if it's considering,
I feel like if it's going to be like the same with the Token Rambo adaptation. Like, even if it's bad, you'll probably still like it. But I hope it's actually good.
I think the advantage that it has through being a series rather than a film is hopefully they will adapt a lot more of the manga. It'll be much more of a faithful adaptation than the films were, because it does skim over a lot of information. One of the most important things about the film, which you get in the anime that you don't get in the film, is you get Guts' backstory, like of how he became the mercenary that he is now at the start of the Golden Age arc, and the only that is condensed into a very surreal dream sequence that he has one night, and it doesn't explain anything.
No,
there's very subtle hints, but that's it. Whereas that is explored in full detail in the original series.
Is it MVM who licensed the original series here?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so you can get it on Deal of the Week.
I'm going to wait for it to be
That's how I got it. Deal of the Week for a tenner for one of the best series of all time. Thank you very much. I think you'll probably.
I think I'll struggle with it, but overall I might get some enjoyment out of it. I feel like that's.
I will warn you up front, as you probably know already, as I hinted at in the past, it will traumatise you.
Yeah.
With its romantic comedy
scenes.
subtext.
It's even you know me, I'm not really bothered by much in terms of like horror stuff in that sense of the themes that are explored. But this messed me up. Like the Advent, the third film, is horrendous.
Wait.
It's one of those things that it's like the epitome of catharsis. Like, it's horrendous and horrific, and I hate it. But because of that, I love it.
Well, maybe I'll try and find someone to actually watch it with me.
You need to. I would say watch it with someone. I wouldn't.
Well, Cam, you haven't watched it, the series, so.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
watch the series.
When you're doing a Final Fantasy
when we
VII
do our
play,
97-hour marathon of Final Fantasy.
We can break it up with Berserk.
I hate life.
the swords are just as big in both series.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, like from what it depends on, because you already asked when we talked about this very briefly. You already asked the question: can I go into this without knowing anything about Berserk? And my answer to that now is knowing, obviously, what arc it's going to go into. Is it really depends on whether they just jump straight into the conviction arc, or they do a little bit of background through Black Swordsman as well. Because if they start with Black Swordsman, you could watch it without knowing Golden Age. I'd probably suggest against that, but you could do it. Yeah. It really depends. I think they probably will, simply because it does give a lot of background, and I'm pretty sure that's the arc where Puck is introduced.
Yep.
Memory is sketchy though. Like, I know that Isidro and the others turn up in the conviction arc, like right at the start of the conviction arc, because that's where Farnese comes from. But then Serpico by extension. This will all mean nothing to you guys.
Yeah, I'm just
desperately trying to scramble together the memories, because it's been so long since I read the manga.
Someone out there is going, yes, finally someone on this thing is not talking
Someone
rubbish.
understands Berserk. They don't understand anything else, but they
Or
understand
they're going,
Berserk.
Cam's such an idiot, he forgot about such and such arc and what happens in the arc.
You forgot that in chapter 87 this happened, and it's really important because...
on page 87
Meanwhile,
of volume 20, this thing happened.
Meanwhile,
Berserk
Ebbie is just thinking,
are the best.
I'm never going to get to the Bethesda live stream.
Berserk, I'll finish up on saying that Berserk fans are the best and the worst of fandom.
I will put in my 2 cents of, I think Casca looks really cool.
She's wonderful. I love Casca.
That's about all I got though.
Yeah. Great. Right. So that's the end of part 3. That's all I need to say, and I spent about an hour saying it. So, but yeah, I can't wait for July. Let's just say that.
Zoink!
Okay, so let's move on to probably one of the more intriguing PVs of this season, and that's 91 Days. So this is about the mafia, and I feel like it's a bit more of a realistic interpretation of the Mafia than, say, Oz Mafia. Ever so slightly.
Maybe.
What are you trying
Is
to
this
say?
a harem? It could be a harem. Like...
Let's have a look at the genres. Doesn't even say.
Oh, yeah, there is harem. It's not a harem, by the way. It seems to be giving me these, like, mystery...
Well, the PV was like kind of, you had the guy staring at the gun on his bed in that rundown room and all the mystery stuff. Let's have a look at the synopsis actually and see what it says. So, it takes place during the Prohibition era. Good era. Well, not good era, but you know what I mean. Good era for storytelling. In the lawless district, the law has no power. I wonder why. And the illegally made liquor flows freely. At one time, Avilio lived in this district, but after a mafia dispute ended in the murder of his family, he went into hiding. Later, Avilio receives a letter from a mysterious person that ignites... I lost my place, because as soon as you move over and the scroll bar appears, it messes everything up. Ignites his passion for revenge and leads him to return to Lawless. There he infiltrates the Venetti family and gets close to Nero. Who?
Nero.
Like it references characters that aren't mentioned in the synopsis at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's a very good synopsis, but this one's intriguing as hell.
I will probably watch this one.
Is it going to be like Joker Game where you'll go, it's really good, you should watch this, and then...
The difference is, I ignored Joker Game and then went in on it, whereas now I've got a vested interest from the start, so maybe that'll carry me forward.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
in saying that, Joker Game is very, 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 very good. I've only watched like 4 episodes, but watch it. Even if you just watch the first 2 episodes, that alone is worth it.
I tell you what, I'm waiting for a fucking calm season where I can catch up on all these shows that I don't have time to watch.
I need to catch up on Boku Hero, for God's sake.
We're all there.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
behind
been
on
so
Boku
many
Hero.
shows that I've wanted to watch, but I just can't because I don't have time.
Yeah. So, this looks interesting. Probably going to check it out. Moving on to this is one that I just kind of put on there because the premise seemed vaguely interesting, and I just kind of got these vibes of fairly generic kind of action series with a relatively interesting premise. That's Taboo Tattoo.
Yeah.
So
I like the title.
it's got a good title. Same director that did Slayers, which is always nice, a good accolade to have. However, they did also do Freezing.
Yeah, today I learnt that the director of Slayers also made Freezing a thing. So.
But the writer is the same writer who did Pandora Hearts and Soul Taker, so those two are amazing. So
I don't like Pandora Hearts.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. So anyway, yeah. So just to refresh my memory of the premise, so it's based on a manga. It's about a young man who is good at martial arts, who rescues a homeless old man on the street one day from some thugs, and the man gives Seigi an object that imprints a tattoo on his palm. However, it is not an ordinary tattoo, but a special weapon that gives Seigi supernatural powers, such as warping space-time.
Such as?
Seigi then meets a female American agent named E.G., that's a very American name,
Yep.
whose duty is to recover the tattoos. Seigi decides to help her and gets wrapped up in a cross-national conspiracy. Ooh.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch. Well, I'm not gonna watch this show, but I don't know if this is gonna be very good.
I don't know. Like I say, I just kind of plopped it on there for whatever reason. I might check it out. It, like I say, it screams of generic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes that's not. Sometimes that's not a bad thing. Sometimes a little bit of
Sometimes you
genericness-
need some generic to make the not generic things shine a little bit more.
Exactly.
Like
It's a
that
palate
anime
cleanser.
about months as people.
It's Taboo Tattoo, i.e. the palate cleanser.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's fair enough.
Cool.
Yeah.
Got anything to say, Pat?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, hopefully you guys will have something to say about the latest offering from Studio Bones, which is another story by the mangaka One, who did the web series One Punch Man, which you might be familiar with.
I've never heard of it.
Have you not? Oh, shame.
No, I never heard of it, man.
It's an alright series. So yeah, it's another one of one series. Story revolves around Mob, a boy who will explode in this emotional capacity of his 100%. Did I say the name of this series? It's Mob Psycho 100, just in case I didn't.
Yeah.
This boy with psychic powers earned his nickname Mob because he does not stand out among other people. He keeps his psychic powers bottled up so he can live normally. If his emotional level reaches 100, something will overwhelm his entire body. I like how it summed everything up in one sentence and then proceeded to carry on and re-elaborate into a paragraph.
Yeah. I think I'm going to watch this one, you know.
I think you should. Like, I was watching the TV and I didn't know that it was another one series. And I was watching it, I was just like, the main character just looks like Saitama. It's just Saitama with his hair. And then I realised that it was a one series, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense then.
It's just
I
their
didn't
style.
even make the connection.
Yeah, it's the same style, and I think because the fact that the main character looks so similar.
Well, it's not just the main character, it's a lot of the characters. It just looks like Saitama's
They
playing
all look
every
like
role.
Saitama with different hair.
Yeah.
They do, though.
I
Go back and look at the PV. There's a girl that looks like Saitama. There's a brother
Is it
character
the-
that looks
is
like
it the-
Saitama. There's
Is
a
it the
love
blonde
interest.
Girl?
Pardon?
The blonde girl with the pink camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks
Girl
just-
Saitama.
Yeah.
Girl Saitama, brother Saitama, anyone else?
There's like a guy in a suit
Mohawk
Saitama.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'll be definitely giving this one a try.
I think I'm going to give it a go because I really missed out on the One Punch Man hype. Which I kind of I enjoyed One Punch Man. I don't think I liked it nearly as much as other people did, but I did enjoy it.
That's
It
good.
would be nice to, be able to say I'm actually watching this show that everyone else is watching, because I feel like this is going to be one to watch out for this season.
I mean, from what I could gather from the PV, the action once again is going to look like it's going to be spot on.
Yeah.
So
Bone's pretty good with their actions.
yeah,
So.
cool. I'm going to let you introduce the next one, Pat, because I know that you are interested in this series in particular as well.
Oh, I can't
This
do the...
this one's
the
a double
voice.
feature.
Yes. I have questions, but first, Danganronpa. The end of Hope's Peak Academy, future volume, the end of Kibo Gaimine Gakuen Muraihen.
So there's
Dozu.
Miraihen and Zetsubohen.
Yeah.
Which I find weird that they're doing two series that are airing at the same time.
But
I don't know the difference between
I find it
them,
weird
so-
that they're doing Danganronpa 3, where I haven't seen Danganronpa 2 anywhere.
It's really odd as well because the
It's Devil Survivor 2 all over again, isn't it?
the Despair story, so Zetsubohen.
Yeah.
Danganronpa 3 Zetsubohen is the prequel to Danganronpa 2.
So they're going out of their way to do everything but 2.
Yeah, like they've got a story set before Danganronpa 2 and a story set after Danganronpa 2, but not Danganronpa 2. Which is ironic as well because I'm pretty sure Danganronpa 2 is the more popular. Like it seems to be the most popular of the three.
It's the one set on the island, I think.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
confused.
Yeah, I know it's very very odd.
I-
Someone who isn't into Danganronpa in particular.
I really enjoyed it, and I was confused why everyone else didn't like it.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
enjoyed the
series.
series.
I
I
think-
watched it and I thought it was good. It was
I
alright.
really liked the death animation things. I thought those were cool because it just like made things weird.
Those
but,
are cool as well because they're ripped
yeah.
straight from the game.
Exactly. And the whole mystery, like, I enjoyed that. I'm confused why they haven't adapted more of it yet. It's been, like, how long since Danganronpa came out?
But it's been a while now. Yeah, good
Yeah.
few years.
The anime came out in 2013.
Yeah, it's been a decent amount of time, and I thought 2 would have been straight after, because I know that sequel existed when Danganronpa 1 came out.
Yeah, it did.
As far as I understood it, a lot of people didn't like Danganronpa the animation because it wasn't like as faithful to the game as they wanted it to be.
I think
It was
the problem
fun.
is the problem with doing it as an animation is it's very with it being a visual novel, it's quite an in-depth visual novel as well, and the events of the game are are quite strictly tied to your actions and your relationships with different characters. So obviously, adapting that into a linear series, they have to kind of tie that down, and probably shift the plot into a certain direction, which I imagine a lot of fans weren't happy with.
No. I just remember really enjoying it. I like the theme song. It just had like that robotic bit at the beginning where it went down, down, rampa. And then it was just like this rap.
I was watching Cam play the game at one point, and I think
Yeah.
the game just left me more confused than I was before.
The game throws a lot of information at you right at the start.
It's like, right now we're going to introduce 30 characters.
Yep, here's
Oh,
everybody.
okay. I don't know. I'd kind of like to get into it at some point, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, this thing, even without the inclusion of Danganronpa 2, probably going to try out both of these, just because it's more of a thing that I like.
Yeah.
So why not? Can't hurt, can it?
I guess not.
If it sucks, you don't have to watch it.
Yeah, it's
True. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from that, scroll down a little bit, we've got
Boom.
Sacred Rider Zex.
It's written as scared on the document, so I was trying to scare you.
Oh yes, sorry, no, it is Scared Rider Zex. I just read it as Sacred. Because I got really confused when I was watching the PV. I was like, is that supposed to be Scared or is it Sacred? And then the end of the PV came on and it says Scared. Now,
I really hope the show is just him on a bike going, ah, ah,
the reason why I put this... Did anyone else put this on the list, or was it just me?
Nope, it was just
no
you.
one else put this on because it's
The
called
reason why I
Scared
put
Rider
this on the list
Zex.
is because it reminds me of things like Guyver and Kamen Rider. It's got Rider in the title. I wonder if that's on purpose. And yeah, I don't know. Just something about it made me go, yeah, all right, maybe I'll check this out.
It's
Hey,
based on an Otome
Cam,
game.
you should watch Koei no Katachi Rider.
Okay. Oh, has it got Kamen Rider in it?
Maybe. That
You'll
seems
be
to be
sorely disappointed.
Let's have a look at what this is about then.
It's got a really long synopsis.
Oh
Has it?
god.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? Let me just do it very quick. It's got aliens in it from a Crimson World via the Crimson Barrier. Scared.
That's Mars.
I think it's supposed to be Scared rather than
Yeah,
Scared.
I think
but,
Scared.
No,
is supposed
they
to be
chose to write it scared. We're saying scared.
Scared Rider, Valiance de blah. So the sixth and latest unit, Scared Rider Zex, assembled from 5 young men. However, blah. And then some stuff happened. Oh god, it's got a band in it. they like fight aliens and they're a band.
It's amazing.
I don't know, it sounds awesome.
Maybe I'll watch it. It's an
I
Otome game, right? It'll be a harem.
The PV looked good, and like some of the things that happened in it were fairly intriguing. And I don't know, something about it caught my attention.
Oh.
It's probably going to be terrible, but who cares?
I feel like it's got a title that feels like it should be a sequel to something.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. But
Confident Riders X.
I don't know. I feel like maybe I've just seen the title somewhere before, and I'm assuming it must have been an anime that I had seen it in.
It's probably just like another title where they capitalise the first and last letter of the name because they like doing that.
Stop.
But yeah, it was one of those ones. I put it on the list because it looked alright. I had no idea it was based on an Otome game. But I guess
Neither did I.
it
I
is.
probably would have put it on the list if I'd known that.
But yeah, I guess we'll see.
There's a thing that looks like Gurren Lagann in it.
Maybe that's why I put it on the list. In fact, it probably
Literally
is.
Looks all referential to fucking Gurren Lagann, but alright.
Right, I'm definitely watching it then. So
Okay.
maybe you thought it was a sequel to something because directly above it on AniChart is Regalia, the three sacred stars, which you could easily see as scared stars.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Well,
Maybe
who
that's
knows?
why I've been confused.
But we're not talking about that. We are talking now about something that caught me by surprise.
Yes.
Um,
Me too.
but not in a bad way. Like it caught me off guard, and I am suddenly very, very excited for it. And that is D. Greyman Hallow.
Hello.
So
Hello.
hello. So Pat and I are fans of D. Greyman.
Yes.
D. Greyman.
I'm
was
a
one of the
lapsed
first-
fan though.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's
I've
been some
kind of
sad news. Oh,
what?
the Oromonogatari manga's ending on July 13th.
No.
No.
Sorry, that just
That's
popped
sad
up in my
news.
Twitter because you were talking about something that I don't really know much about. So I was like, I guess I'll check Twitter. Sorry, carry on.
But yeah, I'm a very on-off fan when it comes to D Grey Man. But I suppose that's just kind of following in the footsteps of how on-off the Katsuro
Yes.
Hoshino is doing her manga. But that's not her fault. She's ill a lot.
I don't know. She doesn't tie up loose ends as quickly as she makes them.
Honestly, I have a theory that because obviously she has a lot of very long hiatuses
Yes.
as a result of her poor constitution, and at least that's how I understand it. I might be wrong. I did read that a very, very long time ago when I was still interested more in the series.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have a feeling that what happens is she'll be doing the manga and it'll be all good, and she'll set up these plot points and have lots of ideas of where they go, and then she'll become ill, take a hiatus, and then during that hiatus just decide that she doesn't want to do any of it. But then instead of like writing the plot points away, she just carries on and does something else.
Yeah. Like,
Which would explain to me the reason why they change costume every 5 minutes.
yeah.
Like I
this-
swear the uniform changes all the time.
Well, sometimes it just blows up and you lose it all.
But in the PV, it looks like they're. I'm not sure whether they're carrying on where. Because I never watched the anime. Where does the anime actually finish?
It finishes off pretty much where the first hiatus was, so it's right after the fight with Tiki, I think. That's just a guess, but I might be wrong. Or they're travelling.
The
No,
first fight with Tiki, or.
it might be soon after Alan has that big fight with the monolithic one, I forget what they're called, and gets all banged up.
Because it seems like.
They did the bit where Miranda comes back, I remember that was in it.
Yes!